This one is personal, not because I have a bone to pick or a grudge to air. It's personal because artificial intelligence helped me work on a problem that is making my life miserable. All the advice I've been giving, all the tips and hints that I've published to build name recognition are beside the point. When the chips were down, when I needed help, I turned to AI and it worked. Some people whine about artificial intelligence and hallucinations. They ridicule the mistakes it makes, point fingers when an answer leads them down a rabbit hole. It's well known that large language models can make mistakes. So, okay, they can't be fully trusted. That doesn't mean it isn't useful. I've been coughing for a year and a half, not just a persistent throat clearing, but a prolonged body shaking convulsion with choking, lightheadedness, and bringing up an abundance of thick, slimy mucus and reflux. And I'll spare you the graphic. It took 6 months for the doctors to make a diagnosis. Apparently, I had a hiatal hernia. Lifestyle changes helped for a while, but it came back with a vengeance. Major surgery was required, and after 3 months of recuperation, I was coughing a lot less, but it still persisted beyond toleration. Next, they found a sinus infection. Antibiotics cleared that up, but did not stop the cough. In America today, doctor's appointments last 15 minutes. Every doctor I saw listened for a few minutes, examined me, suggested another med, and sent me on my way. It was like they were trying to diagnose my condition by finding a medication that stopped it. At this point, I was beyond frustrated. My primary care physician, who had been treating me for 30 years and saved my life at least once, he was also baffled and suggested I go to a university medical center for a full workup. That did not go well. I had 10 minutes and came away with no new ideas. I had to figure this out by myself, and my go-to resource was ChatGPT 4.0. I typed a detailed history into a prompt and asked it to ask me questions. This prompting technique is flipped interaction, which I've written about before. But note, I did not start by asking for a diagnosis. My session went on for days. I noted every detail, how I reacted to each medication, what helped a little, what didn't help at all, and how my cough changed on good days or bad. ChatGPT suggested 5 possible conditions that align with my symptoms and history. It also suggested I drink lots of warm fluids. Good tea. I continued to report what was going on. It narrowed the culprits down to 2. Then I asked for a summary letter to send to my doctor. He got right back to me the next morning and scheduled an appointment, and we discussed the findings. I'm still coughing, but with my doctor's help, I have a new plan and a different specialist to see. Apparently, the constant irritation from the reflux, sinus condition, and mucus could have created a hypersensitivity to the nerves in my throat and larynx. My symptoms closely align with this diagnosis. I see a speech and language specialist for a treatment plan based on behavioral therapy, not medication. I'm optimistic because I started chewing sugarless gum and drinking a lot of tea, and the relief was notable, if not complete. There's something to this approach. The point here is that I use ChatGPT as a trusted advisor, a consultant, not an oracle. I didn't take his suggestions as gospel. I checked his findings with my doctors. I read online about the condition. That's how it's supposed to work. AI contributes to solutions. By itself, it is not a solution. Like any expert you consult, its advice needs to be evaluated and verified. The decisions and their consequences are yours alone. And that's today's bite-sized tech tip.